The one I'm reading right now is Steve Martin's talk about when he was a stand-up comic.
Oh, yeah. What's that called? I actually have it. It's a rectangled book.
Yeah.
It's like a thinner.
Yellow. Yeah, exactly.
I got it. Yeah, he's on the cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read it. It's really good.
Yeah, amazing writer that guy is.
Really good, man. He's prolific.
I got to tell you,
I think we're losing people.
No, I don't
should we talk about nude again, like some nude stuff?
No, I'm going to get to the. I'm
okay.
Get to the heavy
Let's get to the meat.
The real
All right.
music. Okay.
Let's get to the meat of this.
I love heavy metal music, dude. Love heavy music. Grew up on it.
Yes.
It seems to me that heavy music has always had a fetish for big ideas. You know, religion, politics, science, but actually is real adverse to the heavy lifting of intellectualism, like having to learn things.
True.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's because metal has always been, metal has its roots really in, like, the heavy blues, but yet the punk movement. Like modern metal as we know it really kind of came out of that, mid to late 70s, when everything was really starting to kind of come together.
Right.
When you had the, the new wave of British heavy metal. I think it's because metal is very anti-establishment.
Right.
We don't want to be told what to do.
Right.
But because of that, we are very obstinate when it comes to knowledge. We don't want people to make us feel like we're ignorant,
Right.
Maybe even those, like some people are, we don't want to be made to feel like that.
Right.
We're against everything, and so we're against you. And which really bums me out. I've been trying to change that. I've really been trying to change it because I meet a lot of kids who are very intelligent.
Right.
And I think that movement's really starting to spread, and I think that's one of the reasons that metal gets a bad rap.
Right.
Is because there are so many kind of, standard J11, hey, I'm going to jump on stage and nude at a show.
Right.
Show everybody just how cool I am.
Right.
There's that. There's just, it's a fine line. There are a lot of idiots in the punk movement. There are a lot of idiots in the indie rock movement. There are a lot of idiots in the pop movement. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Really? Just go to a dance club once.
Right.
I did it. That was 10 years ago. I'm just saying, we are not the only ones who catch that rap. Unfortunately, we're saddled with that, and I'm trying to change that.
I think you're doing a good job with that, man.
Well, thank you, soul man. I appreciate that.
Let's get to Brittany here. Brittany actually won a contest. She's here. Brittany, hello. How are you today?
Hi,
good.
Brittany.
How are you?
How you doing?
Good.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay.
My question is, what bands or singers inspired Slipknot?
Ooh. Well, I can't speak for all of Slipknot, but I know for me, I've my whole career, I've always been a fan of singers that have their own identity. Like they're very distinct singers. Everyone from Henry Rollins to Sebastian Bach to David Lee Roth to the people who really were their own person. Johnny Rotten. They didn't care if they were the best singer. They didn't care if they were, they could sing the highest or, scream the loudest. They sang from the heart, and they wrote from the heart as well. So that's really where I kind of grew up and came from, It all started with Morrison, obviously. But at the same time, I was really into the Stones. Nobody sounded like Mick Jagger then, So I was a fan of the individual. I was a fan of the front man, and I was a fan of just the individual, just being who you are and saying, I don't care, I'm going to be in a band. This is what I want to do. So that's where I kind of come from, and that's why I preach it to everybody else.